Welcome back to another episode of HTFC. So glad to see you. Um, Today we will be talking about Bodo Glimt's amazing journey through the Champions League this season. Now, I wasn't originally going to make a video about this, and then I realized that when I look back in a few years and want to reminisce on the 25-26 season, what is going to be memorable? And I realized that Bodo Glimt did an amazing thing this season. And of all the things that happened this season, I think it deserves to be one of the things this season is remembered for. So that's what we'll be doing today. We will be talking about Bodo Glimt and their journey through the Champions League this season. Um, so thank you again for clicking on this video, and yeah, let's get right into it. The UEFA Champions League is the second most watched competition in all of soccer, and it is often looked at as one of the biggest glories you can win for you or your club. And a big reason why it's so prestigious and watched is because it brings teams from all over Europe together to compete against each other. We religiously tune in to be able to see teams that we don't usually get to watch. Teams like Ajax or Young Boys, Galatasaray, Celtic, Club Brugge, Monaco, and even a team like Sporting Lisbon from Portugal. And I think this year we get to add another team to that list of teams to keep an eye on, and I think that is Bodo Glimt. This year, Bodo Glimt came out of absolutely nowhere. I don't think anybody was projecting Bodo Glimt to go as far as they did into the UCL. And they weren't just in there, they weren't just doing good, putting up good performances here and there. They were literally nicknamed the Giant Killers. This is a team from Norway, I'll have you know. And they took down, like, then they fulfilled that name. They took down giants like Manchester City, Atletico Madrid, Inter Milan, both legs, and then Sporting Lisbon in the first leg. And then they also drew against Dortmund a little earlier, I believe. I mean, you would not expect most teams in a top five league to even be able to conquer those. You wouldn't even expect that Manchester United to do any of those. And Manchester United is third in the Premier League. And I think a big thing is that Bodo Glimt are such a small club. I mean, because they're eighth in the Norwegian league.
So, yeah, that's embarrassing. While I was writing the script for the video and checking out their stats, Bodo Glimt were actually 8th place in the league, but that was because I neglected to realize that the Elite Serie in the Norwegian league wrote to the MLS format, how they do one season in 1 year. And the league had actually just reset, and they hadn't even played a game yet. So, Bodo Glimt were indeed second. Currently, they are 11th because they haven't even played a game yet. Um, so yeah, that's my bad.
And the stat that I looked up, and it absolutely blew my mind, this is the first time that Bodo Glimt has ever been in the UCL, like as far as they were. If you go through all the lists of all the like rounds of 16 and 32, Bodo Glimt aren't even there. Like that, they haven't even been high enough in the Norwegian league to be here. Like it's insane. Like they've played group stage games, I believe, but they haven't actually made it this far ever, which is crazy. To not only get here, but to destroy teams like Inter Milan and then do good against Sporting, who are, I think, arguably the biggest team in Portugal. And when you look back at this, it's really just a miracle that they made it as far as they did. And that makes you think, like, what actually made them able to get this far, obviously. I think the reason that they were able to get this far was because they play simple football. You know, there's a quote that I love. Playing football is simple. Playing simple football is hard. And I mean, I love that. Being able to make a game look easy and to be able to just manipulate space and players and time is just a skill that is so hard to attain. And I think Bodo Glimt at the end of the day were more disciplined than a lot of these teams. I mean, off the ball, their movement was amazing. And I think that having to prove something is a huge aspect to the sport. Like Real Madrid, I don't even think Real Madrid would have fought as hard against these teams like Manchester City and the others. Even though they did, having something to prove is so much more of a confidence booster than, all right, we've done this before, we just have to do it again. If you think about it, you join a new team, and you're the worst player on the team. You're probably more likely to put in time and get in touches out of practice than the player who captains the team and is the best on the team. If that makes sense, Bodo Glimt, they put in the time, they had something to prove, and I think it showed. They were passionate about what they were doing, and then on and off the ball, they were just working harder than everyone else. Finding the simple passes, getting into the easy space, and that helped them so much and helped them not only just win games, but I mean rack in points, like and win games by a decent margin too. So being able to manipulate time and space is very helpful because it helps you create similar chances almost every time, and it gives players who are like the striker, the left wing, or forwards for that matter, a higher chance at being able to finish because they've practiced it and they know what's coming. And Casper Hoff, Hoff, I don't even know how to say it. Casper Hoff, he was the man running the show. He mostly played striker, but it was him and Jens Haug, Haug. I should have looked up these names. That's my bad. Casper had 23 goals and 8 assists in this season. And I mean, he ran the show in the big games and he had that tough celly too. Um, you know, he was scoring goals and getting assists against Sporting first leg, Inter first leg, and then especially against Atletico Madrid and Manchester City. And then the man behind him who was helping him, Jens, was just as spectacular. 15 goals and 9 assists this season, and was a necessity in the control and the manipulation of the ball and time behind Casper. Now, even though Bodo Glimt didn't go on to win anything in the UCL this season, Bodo Glimt has solidified a spot in the minds of the streets, I guess you can say. It's times like these where football is just pure, and everybody can come together and celebrate a smaller club, showing how the sport can be played and how greatness can be attained and grown anywhere. So, I know this is going to sound weird. I personally thank Bodo Glimt for adding an important touch to the 25-26 season and giving us something to remember. I mean, I personally believe that Bodo Glimt is one for the books. Bodo Glimt 2026. It's alongside with like Monaco 2017, Ajax 2019, Villarreal 2022, and the list goes on. So I think it is safe to say that the streets will not forget Bodo Glimt 2026. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, that's it. So see you very, very soon.